You hear the sound again. That same alarm. That same tone. And still, you don't move. Maybe it's 6:30. Maybe it's 7. Maybe it's already too late. The bed is warm. The world is cold. And the weight of starting feels unbearable. You reach for the phone. Not with intention, but with instinct. You scroll. Not because you want to, but because it's easier than facing the moment. You tell yourself, just 5 minutes. But you already know. It never ends in 5. The day is already slipping. Not because of some crisis, but because of something smaller. You have no ritual. You have no launch sequence. You have no ignition system. You just drift. From bed, to phone, to blur. And that blur becomes your identity. You move slow. You delay tasks. You try to feel ready. But readiness never comes. So you wait. And wait. Until half the day is gone. And the guilt starts to settle in. You tell yourself tomorrow will be different. But it won't. Not without a system. Because right now, you are depending on chance. You are depending on motivation. You are depending on how you feel. And that is why you lose. You lose in the first 5 minutes. You give up your fire before the match is ever struck. This is not about discipline. It's about engineering. And you haven't engineered anything. You wake up with no structure. No cue. No trigger. No map. You are naked against the morning. And that is why the world always hits you first. Emails hit you. Doubt hits you. News hits you. Comparison hits you. And you, still in pajamas. Still trying to feel ready. Still hoping the day will change on its own. But it won't. It never does. Not unless you build the gate. Not unless you carve the groove. Not unless you code the ritual. You cannot trust motivation. You must install motion. Because motion builds momentum. And momentum builds identity. And identity is the only thing strong enough to carry you through a storm. So today, you stop waiting to feel ready. You stop scrolling for dopamine. You stop dragging yourself into the day like a slave to distraction. You become the one who decides. The one who programs. The one who triggers the shift. It does not take hours. It does not require perfection. It begins with 3 simple steps. 3 rituals. Before 7 a.m. That lock in your discipline. Before the world has a chance to steal it. Not a miracle morning. Not a hustle culture trend. But a personal ignition protocol. That turns fog into fire. And it starts tomorrow. With the first move you make. Before you check your phone. Before you open your mouth. Before you think too much. Because the first action is the first vote for the person you are becoming. And right now, you are about to become unstoppable. You don't need more quotes. You don't need another podcast. You don't need another reason to feel bad for not changing. You need one thing. A launch code. A precise series of actions that override hesitation. That outsmart laziness. That bypass your mood. Because right now, you keep waking up hoping you'll magically feel different. But you won't. The brain you wake up with is not the brain of discipline. It is the brain of safety. The brain of comfort. The brain that tells you to stay where it's warm. And easy. And safe. You were not built to leap into action. You were built to conserve. And that's why mornings break you. You wake up and feel nothing. So you wait. But this waiting is the death of all change. Because the longer you wait, the more your default wins. And your default is distraction. It's postponement. It's drifting. That's why the world owns you. That's why your habits own you. Because you're not in control. Your feelings are. So let's fix it. Let's stop trying to feel ready. Let's stop depending on some magical inspiration. And let's do what works. Systems. Small, repeatable, automatic systems that activate regardless of emotion. Because what matters is not what you feel, but what you trigger. And in the first 5 minutes of your day, there is one job only. Ignite. Not plan. Not scroll. Not doubt. Just ignite. You don't need a complicated morning routine. You don't need 2 hours of journaling and cold plunges. You just need 3 switches. 3 exact steps. You can do every morning. Without exception. Without debate. Without delay. This becomes your launch code. And here's what it does. It tells your body we're in control now. It tells your mind this is our identity now. It tells the world I am not waiting anymore. These 3 steps are the difference between a day you command and a day you survive. Between being a reactor and becoming a builder. And the best part? It does not matter how tired you feel, how unmotivated you are, or how many times you failed before. Because this is not about hype. This is about wiring, programming, coding your day at the system level. When you install these rituals, they take over. They create gravity. They remove the choice. Because when the system runs, discipline becomes identity. And identity becomes destiny. You don't build greatness at noon. You don't find focus after lunch. You don't unlock your potential after you've already lost the morning. You build it at the start, with the sequence, with the signal, with the fire you light, while the rest of the world sleeps. These 3 steps will not just get you moving, they will rewire the way you live. And starting tomorrow, you will wake up and execute. Not because you feel like it, but because that's who you are now. In the next part, you'll get the blueprint, the ignition ritual that has no negotiation, no variation, no emotion, just action. 3 steps before 7 a.m. to program unbreakable discipline that survives doubt, silences hesitation, and turns you into the kind of person you said you wanted to become. You think your day starts when you open your eyes. It doesn't. It starts the moment you move. Because motion is the first signal you send to your brain that you are in control. But here's your problem. You open your eyes and hesitate. You scroll. You linger. You wait to feel something powerful before you act. But the truth is, you cannot think your way into discipline. You must move your way into it. So here is step 1. Anchor your body before your mind wakes up fully. That means no phone, no decision making, no mental debate. It means you execute one physical cue. Immediately. Within 10 seconds of waking up. No matter how you feel. This is not about being heroic. It is about becoming automatic. You need to eliminate the gap between waking and moving. Because that gap is where all your failures have lived. You've spent years losing the day. In those first 2 minutes. The body says stay. The bed says wait. The comfort says later. But now, you override that. Here's the rule. Before your brain can talk you out of it, your body must begin. What does that mean practically? It means sitting up instantly, standing with purpose, walking to a designated space, touching a trigger object. This is your anchor action. It can be small, but it must be real. And it must be consistent. When you touch that object, when you reach that place, when your feet hit the ground and move, you have already won. Because your brain is too late. It can't argue with action already in motion. And this is the trick. You don't overcome laziness with thought. You destroy it with velocity. The moment you take control of your physical state, you gain momentum. And momentum changes everything. You've felt it before. That moment when you finally get up, and the heaviness begins to lift. That's not motivation. That's physiology. You have told your body, we are not a victim this morning. We are a builder. We are a leader. We are a commander of behavior. You reclaim your power. With one motion, one anchor, one unshakable cue. And this cue must be ritualized. So it becomes non-negotiable. Not just get out of bed, but stand on the cold floor. Not just wake up, but walk directly to the light switch. Not just stretch, but place hands on the wall and breathe deeply 3 times. Why? Because precision creates identity. The more specific your action, the more permanent your wiring. If your mornings are vague, your mind will always default to comfort. But if your mornings are encoded, you no longer need permission. You've already become motion, before resistance has a chance to wake up. This is the first step of the unbreakable morning. You anchor the body before the mind can interfere. You move before your doubt can speak. You rise before your excuses have time to form. Because the strongest version of you is not the one who waits to feel ready. It's the one who moves anyway. You moved. You stood up. You won the first second. Now comes the next battle. Your self-concept. Because even though your body is awake, your mind still remembers who you were yesterday. That voice is still here. The one that says, you're not consistent. You always quit. You don't follow through. That voice has history. It has evidence. It has patterns. And if you let it, it will reprogram your day back into the past. So step 2 is your firewall. You must interrupt the loop before it runs your day again. And you do that with an identity command. Not a wish. Not a hope. Not a fake affirmation. A command. A statement you write, say out loud, and make visible. Here's what it sounds like. I am a disciplined executor. I train first, think later. I finish what I start. No feelings required. I don't negotiate with my lower self. This is not self-help fluff. This is coding. You're installing new identity software through repetition, intensity, and environment. Because every identity is shaped by what you repeat, what you feel while repeating, and what you attach it to. So here's how to run step 2. You go to the mirror. You look directly at yourself. You say the sentence you pre-wrote. You say it with volume and zero hesitation. You do this every morning, no matter what. Because it's not about how you feel. It's about what you're reinforcing. Your brain is listening. Your nervous system is listening. The part of you that always drifts is listening. And every time you declare, that drift loses power. You become the voice, not the victim of it. You step into command, not reaction. And this is why you must use the same sentence for at least 30 days. Because identity grows from consistency, not variety. You are not trying to feel new. You are trying to become new. And becoming takes repetition. In the same place, with the same trigger, until the loop burns in. It might feel fake at first. That's good. Because the old you will resist. The old you will say, this isn't you. But keep going. Your voice will become the truth. If you are loud enough, long enough, and clear enough. This is why most people fail. They try to change their behavior without changing their core script. They work hard, but don't believe hard. They take action, but do not embed identity. And without identity, action burns out. But not you. You don't just wake up. You declare. You code. You install. You write the words that break the loop. And you read them until they are no longer read, but remembered. This is how you become unshakable. By becoming someone you have told your brain to expect. And that expectation will begin to pull your actions, even when your feelings rebel. That is the power of identity ritual. That is your second morning switch. You've stood up. You've spoken your identity. But you're still in danger. Because now comes the silent killer of consistency. Free time. That empty space between waking and working. Between identity and action. Between knowing and doing. That's where most people disappear. They check messages. They glance at news. They snack. They stare at the wall. They wander. And by the time they try to get serious, the focus is gone. The loop is broken. The morning is lost. You will not do that. You will build a loop that absorbs you before distraction can touch you. This is step 3. You hardwire a non-negotiable morning loop. Not a to-do list. Not a wish list. Not a feel-like-it schedule. A fixed, no-option, pre-routed track. Here's what it looks like. One anchor location. A place where your real day begins. E.g. a desk, a mat, a corner with a notebook. One action sequence. The same every day. The same order. No gaps. No debate. One time container. Minimum 30 minutes. Maximum 90. Timed, tracked, and closed. You don't wake up and ask, what should I do? You wake up and step into the script you already wrote. And this loop starts the moment your identity command ends. You sit. You open. You begin. For some, it might be 10 push-ups. Journal 3 lines. Review 1 goal. Execute 25 minutes of focused work. For others, brew coffee. Open laptop. Write for 45 minutes. Close session and track. The details do not matter. The loop matters. Because discipline is not about doing hard things. It's about making the easy thing automatic. And repeating it until it shapes your soul. This loop is not fragile. It is protected by rhythm. It is immune to emotion. Because it is not decided each day. It is installed. This is the critical distinction. Amateurs plan motivation. Professionals install rhythm. You must become the latter. The first week will feel strange. You'll forget steps. You'll want to improvise. You'll feel bored. Good. Because that is when discipline is forged. Not in the excitement, but in the mundane fire. You sit anyway. You write anyway. You review anyway. You remove choice. So that behavior remains. And when the loop is protected, you no longer leak power in the morning. You start the day with a win. You program momentum. You create a gravitational pull toward action. And once this loop exists, you'll notice something shocking. The rest of the day gets easier. Because the hardest part is already done. You've already faced resistance. And you beat it before 7. That's the secret of the great ones. They don't work longer. They build faster inertia, so that the work feels lighter. This is your loop. You don't ask yourself. You tell yourself. You don't plan the day. You launch it. And that's how mornings go from accidental to engineered. So now, you have a morning ritual. You stand. You speak. You act. And for the first time in your life, you've stacked 3 days in a row, where the first hour was fully yours. No drag. No delay. No distraction. But here's the trap. What you build will slowly become invisible if you don't refine it. Discipline does not die from difficulty. It dies from dullness. When your mind stops feeling challenge. When your ritual stops feeling alive. When the steps become checkbox motions. That is when entropy returns. That's why step 6 is not action. It's evolution. You are not here to repeat blindly. You are here to refine consciously. Because even systems must breathe. Even loops must grow. So here's how you iterate your ritual without breaking the structure. 1. Every Sunday, review the loop. Sit down and ask, which part of my morning felt fake? Which part felt frictionless? Where did my mind drift? This is not a punishment. This is an upgrade process. You are inspecting your neural groove. You are treating your life like a prototype. You are doing what champions do. Audit for friction, iterate for flow. 2. Replace one component every 14 days. You don't blow up the system. You don't overhaul all at once. You change one thing. Switch your writing prompt. Change the trigger phrase. Adjust the order. Add a sound cue. Remove a weak step. You treat your ritual like a living codebase, not a stone monument. You don't get bored, because you're always optimizing, but never destabilizing. That's the art. 3. Add intensity, not volume. Never expand the ritual to 3 hours. Never stuff it with busy work. Instead, add intensity to what already works. Write faster. Read deeper. Breathe slower. Stretch longer. Visualize with more precision. This way, the time stays the same, but the transformation sharpens. That's how world-class momentum grows. Through focused depth, not scattered expansion. 4. Track only one thing. In every ritual iteration, pick one outcome to measure. Not 10. Did I finish before 7? Was I fully present during the first 10 minutes? Did I complete the identity command without hesitation? One trackable, binary signal. That tells you, did I win the morning? If yes, you stack it. If no, you refine it. This keeps you honest. This protects against fantasy. This installs emotional ownership. Because the ritual is no longer abstract. It's a scoreboard. And you are the only player on the field. You are not doing a routine. You are building an operating system. One that evolves with you, grows with you, sharpens you daily. You do not follow the ritual. You become the kind of person who upgrades systems like breathing. You are the architect, the engineer, the executor. And now, you are becoming the optimizer. Not just of your morning, but of yourself. This is the 6th layer of the system. Next, we will introduce what happens when life breaks your rhythm, and how to reset the loop instantly without guilt, without collapse. You've been consistent. Your ritual feels like a real part of you. You've seen results. Clarity. Power. Momentum. Then it happens. You oversleep. You get sick. You travel. You break the chain. And just like that, the loop is broken. The system feels distant. The shame kicks in. I blew it. I ruined everything. What's the point now? But here's the truth. Missing one day doesn't break you. Letting one miss become your identity does. This is where most people quit. Not because they failed, but because they made failure mean too much. You won't do that. Because now, you understand how momentum really works. It's not perfection. It's recovery speed. What matters is not how flawlessly you follow the ritual. What matters is how fast you reboot after falling off. So here's how to reboot your morning. With precision and no emotion. Step 1, shrink the loop. When you miss a day, your brain will resist returning to the full ritual. So you don't force it. You shrink it. Identity command, 1 sentence only. Physical movement, 10 reps. Action block, 5 minutes. The goal is not discipline. The goal is motion. Why? Because motion rebuilds identity faster than motivation. You're not trying to do a good ritual. You're trying to remind your body who you are. And small loops do that better than guilt. Step 2, name it out loud. Before you restart, you say this. I missed the loop. Today, I rebuild it. Not dramatic. Not poetic. Just factual. This is called loop anchoring. You take back control by giving your nervous system a conscious direction. This simple statement replaces the subconscious shame with conscious reactivation. That's the shift. Step 3, recommit for 2 days only. Don't tell yourself, I'll never miss again. That's fantasy. Instead, commit to 2 days. Just 2. Because the goal isn't streaks. It's traction. 2 days of motion. Restores neural alignment. Restores memory. Restores confidence. And from there, you can decide again. You don't need eternal declarations. You need small wins now. Step 4, track the bounce, not the break. You no longer track how many days I've been perfect. You track how fast I recover when imperfect. This one metric will change your entire relationship with consistency. Because now, you are proud not of the unbroken chain, but of your rebound speed. This removes the ego. This installs real power. This is called resilience discipline. And it is far more powerful than streak-based ego management. Because real builders fall forward. They don't collapse. They compress. They restart. You are no longer someone who breaks routines. You are someone who reboots them before noon. That's what sets you apart. Because in the real world, schedules crack. energy dips. Life hits hard. But if your system is designed to bend, instead of break, you become unshakable. This is the 7th layer of your discipline. You now know how to reset rhythm. Without shame. Without drama. Without loss of identity. In the next part, we will explore how to connect your morning ritual to long-term visions, so you never again lose sight of why this discipline matters. You're getting consistent. You've built the loop. You know how to reset. You feel momentum. But something starts to fade. Not the action. Not the discipline. But the reason. You wake up. You move. You complete the ritual. But your heart? It starts asking, why? Why am I doing this? Why push this hard every day? What is this really building? This is the silent death of many achievers. They build habits disconnected from vision. They move, but they don't know where. That's how burnout begins. Not from effort, but from disconnected effort. So this chapter is about anchoring your discipline to destiny. You will now link the 3 steps of your morning ritual to the next 10 years of your becoming, so you never again feel lost in your own routine. Step 1. Install the vision trigger. Before your ritual begins, you speak one sentence aloud. I do this because. Then finish it. I want to walk my daughter down the aisle with pride. I will be the author who saved 1,000 lives. I'm becoming the leader I needed when I was young. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be true. You say it. You feel it. You fire the connection. This one line turns a routine into a mission, a breath into a battle cry. You don't skip this. You don't rush it. You let it hit. Because the morning doesn't just begin with action. It begins with alignment. Step 2. Design a vision mirror. Once a week, during your ritual, you answer one question in your notebook. How did this week move me closer to the life I want 10 years from now? This is called the vision mirror. It prevents you from drifting. It reattaches your actions to your highest identity. You don't measure volume. You don't measure perfection. You measure alignment. This simple question keeps the fire alive. You are not just doing the ritual. You are becoming the person the future needs you to be. And that requires reminders in motion. Step 3. Create a ritual landmark. Pick one step of your morning. Any step. And name it after your dream. Example. The push-ups equals my warrior mind. The writing equals author's table. The walk equals CEO circuit. Label it. Every time you do it, you remind your brain, this is not a task. This is an identity rehearsal. This installs emotional connection. It hardwires purpose. It transforms the ordinary into sacred ground. You're not just breathing. You're preparing to lead nations. You're not just stretching. You're unlocking the spine of a future legend. The landmark gives soul to the system. And soul is what keeps discipline alive. Step 4. Use the future voice technique. During the final minute of your ritual, speak to yourself. From the voice of your future. I am proud of you. I know it's early. I know it's quiet. But this is exactly how we won. Let it feel weird. Let it sound strange. Because that future voice is the version of you who never gave up. And now, they are here, watching you, guiding you, speaking through you. This connection across time is the deepest fuel on earth, because when you act for someone you've never met, but will become, you act with devotion. You are not chasing a goal. You are becoming worthy of the next version of you. You are no longer doing morning rituals for productivity. You are now training for destiny. You are not trying to be efficient. You are aligning your life with something far beyond what the clock measures. And this is the moment. You step out of routine and into the sacred. This is the 8th layer of your system. Next, we enter the emotional upgrade phase. How to wire self-respect, confidence, and identity strength into the core of your morning, not just the surface. You've built action. You've restored rhythm. You've aligned your vision. But something deeper still waits. It's not about performance. It's about who you believe you are when no one is watching. Because even when your ritual is consistent, even when your vision is clear, you can still feel empty. If your self-respect is accidental, most people train behaviors. Few people train beliefs. That's your next level. You won't just move like someone disciplined. You will feel like someone worthy. This is where you rewrite the code of who you are. One morning at a time. Here's how you install belief into the bones of your ritual. Module 1, the mirror reversal. You stand. You face the mirror. You look yourself in the eyes. And you say one sentence. I am becoming someone I trust. That's it. No bragging. No begging. No pretending. Just truth. You repeat it every morning. Why? Because self-respect is built through internal consistency. And when you say that line, your brain will check if it's true. If it is, confidence grows. If it's not, awareness grows. Both are useful. Both guide your next move. You are not saying affirmations to feel good. You are saying them to check alignment. This is respect through reflection. Module 2, the decision audit. Before you begin your ritual, you write this down. What did I do yesterday that I'm proud of? It can be small. I stopped scrolling when I wanted to give up. I made the call I was scared of. I finished my evening routine. One win. That's all. You write it. You say it aloud. Why? Because the mind becomes what it remembers. And most people only remember their mistakes. You are retraining memory. You are choosing identity by amplifying evidence of growth. This builds the foundation of earned confidence. Module 3, the self-respect repetition. During the ritual, pick one action. And as you do it, repeat this in your head. I finish what I start. Every rep, every step, every breath. This is not motivation. This is identity repetition. You are speaking directly to the subconscious. Through rhythm. The brain learns through loops. You are looping a truth into your nervous system. I finish what I start becomes a signal. A drumbeat. A law. You are not hoping to feel confident. You are coating your muscles with it. This is how discipline rewires belief. Module 4, emotional resistance practice. Pick one part of your morning. Make it slightly harder. Not extreme. Just slightly uncomfortable. Example. Do the last 10 push-ups slower. Take the cold shower for 10 seconds longer. Write for one more minute when tired. As you do it, repeat. I do what I say I will do. You don't enjoy it. You don't fight it. You observe it. This is called controlled resistance exposure. You are teaching your body. That discomfort does not define your limits. Your word does. This simple act raises self-respect faster than 100 compliments. Because you now trust your word, not your emotions. And that's where confidence is born. Module 5, end with identity proof. As you close the ritual, you write one line. Today, I am this kind of person. You finish it however feels real. Who creates without apology? Who leads when no one else will? Who does not need motivation to take action? This is the loop close. The identity stamp. The emotional anchor. You are not logging behavior. You are declaring belief. This act moves belief from abstract to embodied. You begin your day not with tasks, but with truths. You don't need outside praise. You've already decided who you are. This is not fake confidence. This is trained self-respect. You are not waiting to feel good enough. You are becoming someone you already respect. And that, more than any hack or habit, will build the life you were meant to lead. In the next part, we enter the architecture of identity layer stacking. How each morning layer builds a different part of the person you are becoming. And how to know which layer needs reinforcement. At this stage, you're no longer struggling to wake up. You're no longer relying on hype. You're no longer chasing surface success. You are building someone, not a version, not a mask, not a role, a core, a structure, an identity so solid it moves without permission. But most people don't realize this. Your identity is not one thing. It's layers. Each ritual action is a layer. Each decision is a brick. Each repetition is a code. And in this chapter, you will learn to build, layer by layer, the kind of person you admire, the kind of leader the future needs, the kind of soul you already glimpse when you're brave enough to look in the mirror. Layer 1, the builder discipline. This is the foundation. The one who shows up, no matter what. Every morning action is a message to the subconscious. I am someone who does hard things. Not because it's fun. Not because it's easy. But because it is true. You don't argue with feelings. You don't bargain with comfort. You move. You begin. You build. This is not habit. This is identity. This is becoming the builder. Layer 2, the witness awareness. The one who watches. Who sees what most ignore. Who can pause in the noise and ask, why am I doing this? You write. You breathe. You review. You are not just moving. You are observing motion. You are catching patterns. Interrupting loops. Choosing again. This is how you become the witness. And the witness never lies to himself. Layer 3, the architect strategy. The one who designs. Not blindly follows. Not blindly grinds. But crafts. Each habit. Each system. Each boundary. With intention. You use your ritual. To test. To refine. To optimize. You ask, what works for me now? What breaks momentum? What multiplies results? The architect isn't just disciplined. He is intelligent with effort. He builds a life that works, so he doesn't have to fix it later. Layer 4, the champion confidence. The one who walks taller. Not because of praise, but because of proof. You feel it. When you do what you said. When you push one rep past the urge to quit. When you show up with no one watching. Confidence is not gifted. It is earned. Through private victories. You train this. You log this. You revisit this. This is the champion identity. And every morning, you wear that crown in silence. Layer 5, the guardian standards. the one who says no. Not to punish, but to protect. You protect time. You protect focus. You protect your energy architecture. This means you remove draining conversations, pointless scrolling, toxic comparisons. You don't just add rituals. You remove what breaks them. You are the guardian of your life, of your mind, of your legacy. This is not rigidity. It is reverence. Layer 6, the servant purpose. The one who remembers. This is not just for you. You rise. For the people who count on you. For the lives your message will touch. For the moments only you can change. You tie each ritual to a face, to a voice, to a soul you haven't even met yet. Purpose is not found. It is attached to action. You are the servant of that future. And that is why you keep going, even when no one claps. Layer 7, the legacy, timelessness. The one who lives beyond the clock, beyond the algorithm, beyond the moment. You are not racing the day. You are building a decade. You use the first hour to cast a vote for who you'll be when your name is spoken and you're not in the room. This is where ritual meets reverence. This is where momentum meets memory. This is where you stop chasing life and begin writing it. This is identity stacking. This is why your morning matters. Not because of minutes, but because of who you're becoming inside them. You are now the type of person who doesn't just do a morning routine. You are someone who builds identities that move with force. In the next chapter, we will enter ritual layer multiplication. How to turn one simple act, like drinking water or journaling, into a multi-dimensional self-upgrade engine by stacking micro-intentions and emotional charges. You wake up. You drink water. You write one sentence. You stretch. These are basic things. So basic. Most people treat them as throwaways. But you don't. Because you've learned something critical. A ritual is not about the act itself. It's about what you stack inside the act. You can multiply the power of even the smallest motion by encoding it with intention, emotion, identity, alignment. This is how one sip becomes a reset. One word becomes a declaration. One breath becomes a return to power. Let's break this down. Example 1, the water ritual. Most people drink water in the morning like robots. Glass. Sip. Done. Not you. You pick up the glass. And before you drink, you pause and think, this is me returning to life. This is me cleansing yesterday. This is me stepping into power. Then you drink. Slowly. Consciously. Now the act has become symbolic. You've stacked a mindset reset on a biological action. That's multiplication. Example 2, the journal sentence. You sit with your notebook. You don't have to write a novel. Just one sentence. But the sentence is not random. It's a ritual anchor. You write, I am the kind of person who follows through. Or, I lead myself before I lead others. Or, today, I move like the person I'm becoming. You feel that? You're not just journaling. You're installing a neural command. You're reminding your identity. You're focusing your intention. One sentence, done right, can realign your entire system. Example 3, the micro stretch. Before you move into the day, you take 60 seconds to stretch. But this is not fitness. This is signal creation. As you stretch, you breathe. You visualize tension leaving your body. You imagine your nervous system preparing for impact. And you think, this is me opening space for excellence. Now it's not a stretch. It's a transformation moment. It's not about the movement. It's about the message inside the movement. The formula, how to multiply any ritual. Here's how you upgrade any action. Name the purpose. Ask, why am I doing this? Attach it to a value or identity. Install the emotion. Ask, what state do I want this to create? Breathe it in as you act. Repeat the phrase. Embed one statement or affirmation tied to the action. Visualize the connection. Link it to your bigger life vision. Even if for 3 seconds. Now brushing your teeth can become a reset. Tying your shoes can become a war cry. Turning on the light can become a metaphor for inner clarity. Because you are no longer doing life. You are programming yourself through life. Stacking in action, a 30-second case study. You wake up. Feet hit the floor. You say, I move with intention. You walk to the kitchen. Grab water. Say, this cleanses hesitation. You journal one line. Today, I choose momentum. You stretch for 30 seconds. Breathing in. Readiness. Breathing out. Fear. This took 2 minutes. But you just installed. Courage. Clarity. Commitment. You're now walking into your day as someone who's already aligned. Not someone chasing alignment. That's power. That's ritual multiplication. Why this matters? Because motivation will always fluctuate. But identity-coded actions don't need motivation. They move on program. They operate by installed truth, not temporary emotion. You're not stacking habits anymore. You're stacking identity proof. Each motion is a mirror, reflecting who you've become. And every mirror you step into reinforces the next. This is where discipline becomes elegant, where the mundane becomes sacred, where the small becomes unstoppable. In the next part, you will learn how to close the morning ritual with finality, so the energy doesn't leak, so the loop feels complete, and your system gets the signal. I have done what I came here to do.